Buckle up, Buttercup. Time for some PFOing so you know where you're going. First things first, making movies is so hard. I just have to confess that. I kind of feel like that old man in the breakfast commercial. He had to say this line, baked in a buttery, flaky crust. He just couldn't get it. And they did a bajillion takes. That's what I feel like.
Baked in a buttery flavored crust. Baked in a buttery flavored crust. Crust.
Yeah. Here we go.
Baked in a buttery, crispy crust. Flaky. I like flaky again. So you should have had that cue card up there.
It's fun to make movies. That's what I'm learning, but it definitely is hard. I can't imagine that the true Instagrammers and podcasters, famous people, they can't get it right the first time, can they? I don't know. Well, what did you think about my opening? Not too bad, a little catchy, kind of cheesy. Yeah, I know. Well, buckle up. Have you ever seen that Buckle Up Baby? That guy is awesome. He loves hockey so much.
Buckle up, baby. Are you kidding me?
Hockey is cool, but I want to buckle up because I'm excited about teeth and life. Of course. Life and teeth. In fact, my life is a lot of teeth. So buckle up. That's why I wanted to use that. Buttercup, okay? We're talking about my little opening line here for this show. Buckle up, Buttercup. It rhymes. So I had to use buckle up and Buttercup. And then time for some PFOing. PFO, you're like, what is that? Well, PFO stands for Packard Family Orthodontics. It also stands for honesty and doing good for other people. So time for some PFOing. I'm using it as a verb. And the idea is that during this time, I'm gonna share, hopefully, what is accurate and helpful information regarding orthodontics and other life topics. And the last part of that little opening catchphrase was, so you know where you're going, all right? That part of the phrase, why did I decide to use that? Well, I was thinking that life is good when you know where you're going, one, and life is also good if you're happy about where you're going. So buckle up, Buttercup. Time for some PFOing so you know where you're going. And by the way, like I said, making videos is really hard. So I've made some notes here. If you see my eyes do a little bit of using my peripherals, like on Get Smart.
Don't turn around, don't turn around. Use your peripherals. Do you see him?
I'm just widening my eyes. I'm not actually seeing anything more.
That's why. I feel like it's kind of rookie-ish. Hopefully we get this across in the right way. Okay, so here you are in my office, my makeshift social media studio. I've got my light on my camera so you can see my face. I'm hoping to get some mood lighting in the back. You don't see that very often in an orthodontist office. I mean, maybe. I don't know. There's some cool orthodontists out there. This is my studio, and I'm your local orthodontist. Here, specifically in McKinney and Texas, and we provide service to surrounding Collin County area, and actually even a little bit farther. And because I've spoken a lot, we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors. Just kidding. We don't have any sponsors. I just wanted to say that because that's kind of fun. Actually, the real deal is I wanted to create a YouTube channel that, like I said, would be helpful in providing accurate information about the field of orthodontics and life topics. Millions of people every year get orthodontic treatment. And there's just the same questions keep coming up over and over and over. Do I need braces? When should I get braces? Do I have a bad bite? How do I fix an overbite? Should I get my wisdom teeth out? Do I have to wear a retainer? The answer is yes. The list goes on and on.
It goes on and on and on.
Maybe we can answer some of your questions. Because there are so many difficult situations and individual teeth and bites, as well as different rules associated with practicing orthodontists around the country and world, it's not that simple. It's kind of complicated. I'm gonna try and keep things as general as possible. And if there's something specific to me in my practice, then I will try to specify that. Unfortunately though, you may feel like what I say is a little bit different than the orthodontist that you know is saying. I've heard it both ways.
Well, Mr. Stockwell, may I call you Gibby?
My first name is Randolph.
I've heard it both ways.
Truly, I have. Truly, I have. Depending on training, experience, between professionals, treatment plans and options can vary. This doesn't necessarily mean that there is a right or a wrong. It's probably better to think about it in this way. You might ask yourself, well, what are my goals? What am I really trying to accomplish? Do any of the options help me accomplish my goals in a better way? What are the trade-offs associated with the different options? I want to simplify this journey for you, this orthodontic journey, as much as possible. So let's go back to the beginning.
You told me to go back to the beginning. So
What is an orthodontist? And what is orthodontics? Well, ortho means straight. Odonto means having teeth. And ist means a follower of a distinctive practice, system, or philosophy, typically a political ideology or an artistic movement. Well, orthodontics doesn't really fall into that category, but we're gonna talk about a little bit of that. That kind of makes sense, right? Orthodonto or orthodontist. Orthodontist, straight teeth practicer. Straight teeth practicer. Well, there was an individual historically that was you could say the originator, the father of orthodontics, or the practice of straightening teeth. His name was Edward Engel. Isn't that a great name? He was basically the first spinjitzu master, or the first avatar, or the first avenger, just in orthodontic terms, right? He's the one that started it all. He believed in fighting against evil on the weekends and straightening teeth during the weekdays. He kind of had two jobs. Specifically, he believed that there was such a thing as the perfect setup for your teeth. And here are just a few, key principles in the orthodontic world that have become the standard since he began straightening teeth. Here's a little model, product placement here. Just so you know, these guys are not paying me anything for this. It just happened to be the model that I have in my office. I was looking for another one, I couldn't find it. Basically, we're not gonna talk about this right now. We're just gonna look at the teeth. One of the standards was Edward Engel believed that the teeth, when you look at them on the side, should fit together in a certain way. Very cosmetic, very functional. He also believed that all of the teeth should follow an arc. Another one is the amount of overbite. Actually, that's what people call it. They call it overbite, but in the orthodontic world, we call it overjet. The amount of space between the top and the bottom teeth. That should be really minimal. Okay, those are just a few key principles. There's more, I promise. But I just wanted to give you a little idea of some of the principles that have become standard since Edward Engel started this gang of orthodontists. And different orthodontists since Edward Engel have pursued different philosophies in orthodontics. Like, some people believe in the Carrier appliance. I think I said that right. Some people call it the motion device. Anyways, it's a way to help correct bites. Some people believe in the Damon bracket system. Some people believe in Invisalign. Some orthodontists believe in extraction more than they do non-extraction, or vice versa. Every orthodontist is going to be a little bit different. But a lot of the standards and principles that have come since Edward Engel are mostly adhered to by the different orthodontists throughout the country and probably throughout the world. I hope the impression that you're getting is that an orthodontist is an individual with great skills.
Nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills.
But we aren't finished yet. There's orthodontists and orthodontics. Sometimes you see with those titles, dental facial orthopedics. What is that? Well, orthopedics, the branch of medicine dealing with the correction of deformities in the muscles and the bones. Dental facial orthopedics, therefore, is dealing with the correction of deformities or malposition of bones and muscles in the mouth or adjacent structures. So, orthodontists tend to also claim that they are dental facial orthopedics, or orthopedists, I should say. Yes, in some way we are considered orthopedists, but not in the sense that most people think of when they think of orthopedic surgeons. Those guys and girls are just a whole nother level. How is an orthodontist an orthopedist? We use things like expanders and Herbst appliances that try to manipulate the jaws and the muscles around them. All right, so we've kind of defined what orthodontist is, orthodontics, dental facial orthopedics. An orthodontist is also a specialist. We are the elitist of the elite. That's one of my favorite quotes.
We're the elitist of the elite. Up high! Whoa, hey now.
What I mean by this is generally, if you want somebody to straighten your teeth and beautify your bite, the orthodontist is probably the most qualified and has the greatest capacity to help you, most likely. Orthodontists become specialists by going to extra years of training. First, they have to be a dentist, which requires 4 years of undergraduate work, then 4 years of dental school training. They get their dental license, and then they're accepted into a orthodontic residency program. After they finish that, they receive an orthodontic certificate saying that they are a certified specialist in the field of teeth straightening and dental facial orthopedics. So, side note, to practice orthodontics, meaning to try and straighten somebody's teeth, you actually don't have to be a certified orthodontist. Many dentists actually provide Invisalign or use brackets to try and help straighten people's teeth and fix people's bites. That can happen. Ideally, in those situations, your dentist would provide or should provide the same quality of care that you would receive by going to a orthodontic specialist. Fun fact to be aware of, some offices will say dentistry and orthodontics. Now, what you need to know about that is, or what you could ask in that situation is whoever is doing the work in that office an actual orthodontist? Just want to give you a heads up so that way you're not caught off guard. If the dentist is going to provide orthodontic treatment, that's okay as long as you're okay with it and they provide good quality care. Enough about orthodontics. Let's go to the do good, live good section of this channel. Do good, as you can see here, the motto at Packard Family Orthodontics, do good things. That's something my dad said to me a long time ago. He was always trying to get me to do good things so that God could use me to do great things. I believe that. I've been thinking recently about how when you do good, then you can live good most of the time. In addition to that, the question came to my mind today: how do we, as human beings, how do we be happy? How can we be happy? According to the brilliant mind Aristotle, happiness is the meaning and purpose of life. It's the whole aim and end of the human existence. Side note, please be aware that pleasure does not always correlate with true happiness. So be careful doing what makes you feel good, because that might not always lead to true happiness. Take, for example, the guy that pulls into a parking spot that somebody else has been waiting for patiently. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. It might have felt good to zip in there and get into where you were going, but in the end, I don't think he was very happy. The pursuit of happiness. Let's simplify our approach. 2 things you can do. Do more things that make you happy. Do less things that make you unhappy. What can make you happy? Exercise, eat a balanced diet, learn new things, develop a relationship with God. In my opinion, all of these things can help you find true happiness. Does it happen in one day? Actually, after you exercise for one day, you might be kind of miserable if you haven't exercised in a long time. True happiness usually requires consistency, like a journey, an orthodontic journey. Well, what about those things that make you unhappy? I'm trying to not make this confusing, but sometimes it's hard to add happy things. So one other approach, like I said, is to try and get rid of or do less things that make you unhappy. For example, if we made efforts to make it such that someone who cuts us off on the freeway doesn't cause our blood to boil, we could probably avoid increased car bills. What I'm saying is avoid things, experiences, people that make you unhappy. And you're like, well, duh. You know what? Sometimes it's the simple things that make a true difference in our life. By small things are great things brought to pass. I believe it. That's all I've got. So drink it up, just a little PFOing so you know where you're going. Baxter out. I mean, Packard out.